Hey, Shalom Malkin, this is Rakam Akapash from GMS London, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chakwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video, and I'm going to entitle this one, The UFOs, i.e., or aka the chariots, is going to be the miracle that delivers the children of Israel from Babylon, or something to that effect. Yeah, man. As we've been seeing over the years, you know, these UFO events or these UAP events that have been happening around the Earth and out there in space. Things that have been recorded. These eyewitnesses, and these accounts, the acknowledging of their existence, through these government documents and that kind of stuff, right? Military, and so on, right? These space footage caught by these telescopes and NASA and these types of things, right? These things are what's gonna you know confuse and leave the people on these people on Earth, right, in absolute disbelief, right, when they come to save and deliver the children of Israel from the pending destruction that's coming around the Earth, especially in the land of America, right? When they turn up, it will be the least. What the fuck is happening here? Stupid app, right? But this is going to be the last thing that's going to be on the minds of these people, especially these Edomites, right, who look down upon Jake, right? But this is the miracle that's going to take place in the earth, man, that you're not going to be able to believe, all right? But it's going to be there right in front of you, and it's going to cause you great fear, all right? So I want to get this from Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Open up with this. I'll start from the top. So then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labours. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. All right. So when these chariots pop up all over the earth simultaneously, right, in their thousands, all right, you're gonna be very afraid, right? You're gonna be very afraid, man. All right. And when you start to see, the types of individuals that are going to be beamed up into these chariots, right? The so-called Negro man, right? But not just the Negro man. You're gonna, I see it as, Israel seed been scattered across all over the earth, right? So you're gonna have Jake looking at, like all different nations, right? But typically the Negro man, who you look down upon, okay, who you think their life has no worth and no value, all right? You're gonna see them being beamed up into the chariots, right? And this is gonna, cause great fear into you, man, because you're gonna realize that you ain't being saved, right? Because the Lord isn't coming to save everybody, right? He's coming to save his elect, right? And his elect are the children of Israel, who are the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the descendants that are scattered abroad into the four corners of the earth, right? Those are the ones that are going to be saved, the Lord's elect, all right? Not you Edomites, not you Moabites, not you Elamites, right? None of you other nations are going to be delivered from the judgment that's coming, right? So when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. Okay, so again, this is the miracle that's going to take place, man, that you're just, you ain't going to understand, man. You're going to be in awe and in confusion. All right? Because the miracle that the Lord's going to produce is going to be global, right? And so it's never been done on a scale like this, our deliverance. We all know the story of the Israelites coming out of Egypt, being delivered from Egypt. Okay, that was localized, right? The Lord is going to deliver us from the whole world now. And the whole world is going to see what the Lord is about to do, right? It's going to be a true spectacle, right? It says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of the spirit shall say within themselves, this was he who we are sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach, right? And that them reproaches are growing day by day as these Edomites are getting more and more frustrated, in their kingdoms, because ultimately they're two-time losers, man. The rise of the right. Okay, they're growing more frustrated, right? So they're being more vocal about it now, right? They don't like us. They never liked us, right? And they really want to destroy us, man, and get rid of us. All right. Verse 4, we fools account his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God, and his lot among the saints? All right, that's what you're gonna, begin to understand. All right. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, withstanding for the children of thy people. Okay, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people, okay, the children of Israel, shall be delivered, every one that should be found written in the book. Right, so the elect are going to be delivered in those times of trouble, right? And the angels in these UFOs, or what you call UFOs, which are really the chariots of the Lord, okay, these are going to be, the vessels in which we're going to be delivered from these said troubles. Okay. This is Revelation chapter 7 and verse 3. Let me start from the top, right? It says, and after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, right? And this represents the judgment, only the destroying fire that's going to fall upon America in the form of these, ICBM and, these nuclear weapons, right? They're holding it back that time, okay, with the Lord's judgment. It says, standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. All right, so the elect are being sealed with the Heavenly Father, right? Being sealed and given that mark of exemption, right, from the judgment. Okay, so this is what the angels are being tasked to do, right? The angels have responsibility of bringing these things into play, right? And so the destruction can't come until the elect have been sealed, and the angels are there ready to deliver the children of Israel, the elect, right, before the judgment comes, at the time it happens, right? And so you read on, it's going to go into the 12,000 of each tribe, okay, showing you that these are the ones that are being sealed by the Heavenly Father, right, of the tribes of Israel. This is Matthew 24, and let's see. I'll read from verse 29, right? It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And there shall all tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven, right? These clouds of heaven, I was talking about these chariots, what you call UFOs or UAPs or whatever you want to call them, right? Flying saucers, right? This is just, a metaphor, or a symbol of the fact that these things that you call, UFOs are the chariots of the Most High, okay, which house the angels. Okay, it's their, it's part of them. It's their vehicle that they're traveling, right? So it says, they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, and he shall send these angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Right. So, like I said, these angels are going to come in these chariots, right, and deliver the Lord's elect from all over the earth. Right, and that's like when you see it. When these nations see it, man, they're going to be troubled with terrible fear. Right? Because it's truly going to be a miracle, given in the dark times and, the times of trouble that we're going to be in at the time, right? The whole world in chaos, right? It's going to be a miracle that we're going to be delivered out of it. Right? And it's going to be a miracle that the whole world is going to witness. Okay, and we'll have to acknowledge the power of the Lord, the power of Yahweh, and the power of his Son. Right? You're going to have to acknowledge that in that time. Okay? They have to acknowledge his children. Okay? This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. And let's see. I'm start from verse 16. I just want to get the point. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout. Okay, that trump, right? The trumpet. with the voice of the archangel, which is Michael, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Yahushua shall rise first, right? So the dead in Yahushua, they're gonna rise first, right? They're gonna be delivered from the earth, right? So then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. Okay, the clouds again being the chariots, right? To meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. Right? So these chariots, they're there to deliver us out of this place, while this place is going to get judged. Okay, while America, is going to be destroyed, things like that. All right. And this is from Matthew chapter 13 and verse, let's see. I'm just going to grab here from verse 28, I think. Or 27, right? So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst thou not sow good seed in thy field? From whence then have it tares? He said unto them, An enemy have done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them, right? So we're waiting for the angels to again seal the elect, right? And so that the angels can gather up the elect, okay, in that time, right? It says they both grow together until the harvest. Okay, we're coming into the time of the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, okay, who are the angels, gather you together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them. Okay, that's these other nations, right? These these Edomites and those that are round about us, right? But gather the wheat into my barn. Okay, the wheat represents the Lord's elect, the elect of Israel. All right, gather them into the barn. Right, the barn represents these chariots. Right, they're going to be taken up, and the rest are going to be left to burn. All right. I'm sure. I'm sure there's a breakdown for that. I thought it would be here. Um, yeah, it is, right. So the breakdown goes is this, verse 37, right? So he answered and said to him, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, okay, the children of the elect of Israel. But the tares are the children of the wicked one, right? The enemy that sowed them is the devil, right? So that includes these Edomites that look like Israelites, that might be of Negro complexion or whatever the case may be, that are among us, pretending to be us, faking the funk or whatever, they're a bit odd, right? But also it goes to those that are of our people that are, subjugated, their mindset, right? Their mindset has been subjugated by Esau, right? So they live for the world, right? They're converts unto Satan, basically, right? They're also these tares. They're going to be destroyed, right? It says, verse 49, the enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, right? The end times. And the reapers are the angels, right? So the angels are going to go around in their chariots, right? And reap, right? They're going to deliver the elect and burn, everybody else, right? As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. All right. So that's what's going to occur. That's what these angels are preparing themselves for. All right. I'm going to close out with this in Revelation 15, verse 1 said, I saw another sight in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. Right? And them that had gotten the victory over his image and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass having the harps of God. Right? So once the elect are delivered into those chariots, they're going to observe the earth and the burning, right, from above. in the firmament, right? And this is what is mean by standing on the sea of glass. They're standing within the firmament, looking down upon the earth and the fire that's going to be, upon it. All right, it says, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty, just and true are the ways, thou King of saints. All right, it says, who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. And this is what we keep telling you, man. The Lord is not, of the mind to save as many people as he can. All right, you are subject of the Lord's wrath. The Lord actually despises you nations, man, and has got a great issue with you because of how you treated his children. All right, and so when the Lord does send the angels to deliver, his elect, right, the Lord is simultaneously going to send the angels to wreak havoc and destruction upon, the peoples of earth and their kingdoms, right, to destroy it, right, because this is the end of the heathen. This is the end of the heathen's reign. This is the end of Esau. And the Lord is going to be establishing the kingdom of his son, Yahweh Shai, on earth. Right? So all these nations are going to be subdued. Okay? So that's what, these supposed UFOs are, right? They're the angels, doing what they're doing out there, right? But what they're really getting ready for is to deliver the elect and to destroy or help in the destruction of these nations, man. Right? And like I said, that's going to be the miracle that's going to take place, or one of them, right? That the whole world is going to witness, right? And be in awe, which means, I think if I remember correctly, it's like marvelous fear. They're going to be in awe of what they're witnessing, right? But that is one of the great miracles that's going to take place on the earth, man. That these nations are going to, find it hard to comprehend, But with that, I'm going to end it there. Lord, this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. Until next time, I say shalom.